Hello Internet and welcome back to another episode of Pokemon White version. In the last episode, we time traveled into the distant future, like almost 3 months at this point, to see what Icirrus City would be like on New Year's Eve of this year, and also saw pretty much everything there was to see here in Icirrus City. This time, we're going to be turning on the dowsing machine and beginning to explore some of the surrounding areas, going over the Pokemon we can find there and getting some training in before our gym battle. I gotta say, as much as I think this area is significantly prettier in the winter, this place is pretty nice looking. Like, it looks nice in the spring too. Look at all these flowers, like, I don't know, Pokemon Black and White is like a pretty game. Especially as far as DS games go, like, this is probably one of the best looking games on the system. But, like, I don't know. It kind of puts into perspective, like, usually ice areas are the prettiest in games. Unless it's like a Mario game where, like, it's just always incredibly generic and not that fun to look at. But, like, I'm thinking, like, Xenoblade, ice areas are always the prettiest. And, like, Zelda games, ice areas are always the prettiest. Pokemon games, ice areas are usually the prettiest. And in this game, they managed to make it look good in every season. It's just... it says a lot about what went into developing this particular game in the series, I feel, because there is not a single area in the game that looks actually bad. Except for, like, the desert resort, but that's just because it's a desert, and I hate desert areas in games. So that's not any fault of the developers. It's more just a fault of every other developer making deserts the worst areas in their respective games. Palpitode. You're just fighting a Pokemon Ranger here. I think we can start going over the Pokemon that we can find in the areas in Icirrus City and around it. Starting with Palpitode. Palpitode is a great Pokemon. Great typing, interesting abilities, and by the time you catch it, it'll only be a few levels off from evolving into Seismitoad. You have an HM for Surf already, and Bulldoze is a pretty good move for it as well. And if you don't want to wait, in Rippling Water, you can find Seismitoad from level 15 to level 40. It's a powerful Pokemon that learns Dig through TM, something Palpitode itself can't do. Shelmet is a Pokemon. It evolves via trading with the Carablast that you could have caught significantly earlier. It starts as a Tang and evolves into the fastest Pokemon in the Unova region. That is not a joke. You lose nothing through evolving it right away, and a Selgor is so damn strong that, you know what? I'm going to pick up a Shelmet here. Not for the final team, but for the post-game. U-turn is a great move for a Selgor, allowing it to switch out if it gets into a situation that doesn't look winnable, and it gets access to powerful special attacks like Bug Buzz that allow it to do significant damage to opponents before it can get knocked out. And Stunfisk certainly exists. Slow HP tank with a unique type. Discharge and Mud Bomb are good starting moves, and Static is a better ability. Limber literally can't do anything for Stunfisk. It's fine, just not as good as all the other ground and electric types we've seen up to this point. We'll go on to the Dragon Spiral Tower encounters, but I need to focus real quick on, like, where I'm going, and also catching this Shelmet, because I said I wanted to catch one. Alright. Snail. It's a snail? It evolves when bathed in an electric-like energy along with Carablast. The reason is still unknown. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna name it Slick. I don't know why. I just like that name for it. Alright, so we've gone over all the encounters we can catch here. If I could spray a Repel, I could go over the encounters we could find at Dragon Spiral Tower, too. Stunfisk is a weird Pokemon. Ever since Generation 8, I just have it ingrained in my head that I hate Stunfisk, but that's just because Stunfisk looks terrifying in its Galarian form, which it got in Generation 8. I'll go ahead and put that on screen. It's just... I don't know. Something about it is, like, unnerving to me. We're gonna fight this Parasol Lady, since we actually can right now. And I'll begin going over the encounters that you can find at Dragon Spiral Tower. At Dragon Spiral Tower, you can run into Vanillish. But we already have one, so I think we've got a pretty decent understanding of what it's capable of. It's a pretty decent special attacker with pretty decent special defense as well. Beartic. This was going to be on my final team at one point. It's a slow, strong physical attacker, and it can learn Icicle Crash and Waterfall. It gets a surprising variety in the moves it learns, and it gets good use out of Hail thanks to its ability. Sawsbuck is Deerling's evolution. Sap Sipper is a great ability, and it gets fantastic moves. Mega Horn from Heartscale's Jump Kick, Horn Leech, Return, and it gets good damage from all of them, especially getting Stab on Return and Horn Leech. It will do a ton of damage to whatever you send it out against. It has a ton of common weaknesses, but if you're willing to look past those, it's a great addition to your team. Especially this late in the game when you should probably be thinking about adding your final team member if you haven't already. Mienfoo. This is a weird Pokemon. It doesn't evolve until level 50, but getting Regenerator for an ability is nice, and it's a decent enough mixed attacker before evolving. It's sort of the Lucario line of this generation, in more ways than one, with the main issue being that instead of evolving through friendship during the day like Riolu, it evolves at level 50, which is like levels we will be at after the final gym of the game. It's definitely one where you're gonna have to look more at are you okay with what you will be working with, instead of thinking about are you okay with its evolution. Because its evolution is definitely worth it, but if you aren't willing to put up with its low, like comparatively low stats until the post game, I would really choose it for a member of your final team. Druddigan is another Pokemon that I considered for my final team. It's a single-stage dragon type that is very much outclassed by the Axew family, but Sheer Force is a great ability as we've seen with Darmanitan, and Rough Skin ain't half bad either, especially when paired with the Rocky Helmet. It's slow and... Excuse me, sorry. It's slow and can't sweep through entire teams as a result, but it gets good variety in moves, and it's outclassed... And it's a fantastic user of Rock Climb, Rock Slide, Crunch, and more. It's outclassed, but barely. There, I can read, I promise. Now, there's a few more trainers I want to fight here on the route, but we're pretty much at the very end of it, so I'll cut ahead to when I'm done fighting all these people. Oh, this Parasol lady gave us TM42 for Facade. I thought she was gonna battle me, so I was speeding up, but guess not. This lady will, but you have to talk to her. That is weird. She is one of the only trainers who's like that in this game. And her name is Lumi. That's a cute name. I like the spelling, at least. I don't know about the name itself, but the spelling is cute. Strawberry grew to level 40. Ack! Come on! Sorry. I know, I'm just too good. What do you have? That's right, I find rocks and then I give them to people. That's my simple life. You rock. Here, I'll give you the heat rock I found this afternoon. This lady will give you different rocks that increase the length of weather effects gotten through weather moves. Depending on the time of day, she will give you a different one. Unfortunately, I got the heat rock. I don't know what time of day she gives you the Icy Rock, which is what I would prefer to have. But that's fine. Apparently some of us are working in Dragon Spiral Tower, which is close to Icirrus City. Apparently some of us are working in Dragon Spiral Tower, which is close to Icirrus City. I love those guys just in an infinite loop saying the exact same thing to one another. That's a mood. We head over here. Can get an Ultra Ball, which... Again, won't ever complain about getting more of those. And... the Moor of Icirrus. Name's not wrong, this is just Moor of Icirrus. There's nothing here. This area will be important for something later. I should have brought Dwebble with me. As I was saying, this is just like, there's nothing special about this place. It'll be important for something later, but it's not important for anything you will probably be able to do in your playthrough. It's just like a small area. It has the same encounters of Icirrus City. It has the same gimmick of having different things you can reach at different seasons. As a result, I'm probably going to speed up going through here and just play some cool music. Probably something from Xenoblade 3. I love that game's music so far. Yeah, so there's not much to do here, and there's definitely not much to talk about, so instead of spending 10 minutes talking about it, you can just watch it and hear cool music for a couple more, just a couple minutes, you know? Whatever. Speed up starts now. Yeah, I missed one hidden item in there, and to be completely honest, I'm not super heartbroken over it. The Moor of Icirrus is such a... Icirrus, not Icirrus. The Moor of Icirrus is just such a weird location. I don't know why they bothered putting it in the game when they could have just fused it with Icirrus City, but they did. And we have to deal with the consequences. And there's another hidden item up there we can't get because it's winter. Awesome. Gotta remember you can still surf in the winter. For some reason it just doesn't occur to me half the time, but that's how you solve a lot of these ice puzzles, just using surf. Anyway, we've explored pretty much everything we can at the current moment. We've explored through time travel yet again. God, the Animal Crossing fans must hate me. Next time on Pokemon White version, we are going to be heading to the Icirrus City Gym for our 7th gym badge. See you guys then.